Good morning. My name is Nola and I am from Johnson Regional Medical Center, Senior Care here in Clarksville. I want to share some information with you this morning regarding how you and your family can stay calm and cope with anxiety, depression, and stress during the COVID-19 pandemic. So why does COVID-19 seem to trigger mental health issues? Well, for one thing, quarantine makes it more difficult to keep us from getting help with and for our existing and potential mental health issues. We can have increased feelings of hopelessness, fear for health of a loved one, decrease in job security, increased feelings of loneliness, settling into a mindset of surviving, increased feelings of anxiety and stress, less financial security, social withdrawal, and sleep disturbances. And a lot of times our responses to stress include anxiety, tension, being nervous, angry, and also worrying. So how do you feel when you're stressed, anxious, or depressed? Some common behaviors that may occur in your children and your teens may occur during this time when the stress and anxiety level may be higher. And some of those common behaviors can be excessive crying or irritation. They may return to some behaviors that they have outgrown. Some is even as severe as bedwetting and other things like that. Over worrying or extreme sadness, eating too much or too little, sleeping too much or too little, inability to concentrate or pay attention more than normal. We know that during this time, a lot of times it's hard for us to find things that our children want to do, and they're used to being busy. So it may be hard for them to concentrate, but if it's extraordinary, do not want to do things they used to enjoy, their hobbies. Maybe they used to love to go outside. They don't seem to want to go outside anymore. Maybe they like to play video games or build with Legos or play with dolls or play in their tree house or read a book or whatever it is they may want to do, and they seem to not want to do those things anymore. So how do we talk to our children or teens about COVID-19? If your children or teens have questions, they may just be curious and not particularly worried or afraid. And that's something we need to remember. A lot of times, they may be picking up on how we're doing and what we're feeling. So we ask them age-appropriate questions like, what do you know about the coronavirus? Don't assume they know something. That may be where some of the fear and anxiety and stress, even depression is coming from, is the unknown. Answer questions honestly and simply as possible. You don't have to go into a long story with children or teens. I remember sometimes when my children are young, they would come up and just pop up with a question that you weren't ready for, and you just answered it age appropriately, simply, and they went on their way and went back to playing or whatever it may be. So don't try to overanalyze the questions, just be honest and make it simple. Provide your children and teens with reassurance that everyone and everything is being done to prevent the virus from spreading and also to help people get better. Try to limit or eliminate the news and media exposure regarding the virus, especially if you know it increases their anxiety or stress. So for families with adults, all ages, and it includes senior adults, watch out for these signs and symptoms for yourself and your adult family members. Change in sleeping or eating habits, loss of interest in personal appearance, feelings of hopelessness, feelings of increased depression, withdrawal from communication, phone calls, texts, and other forms of communication. No longer interested in hobbies or things that they usually enjoy. A lot of these are similar to what maybe children and teens are feeling. So it can be similar and even some of the same things for all age groups. Adults and senior adults may be affected a little bit different, specifically our senior population, which is of course what I work with here at Senior Care at Johnson Regional Medical Center. Isolation. They may already feel like they have limited access to things and may feel some sense of isolation. Maybe they can no longer drive, so they don't have any transportation. And I want to include persons with disabilities in this also. Social withdrawal, even more socially withdrawn out of fear or lack of ability or access to technology. A lot of times we just assume everyone knows how to use technology. And I know as I'm getting older, it can be a little bit more of a challenge than it was in my 20s or even 30s. So we need to remember that not everyone can order things online or order things to be delivered or picked up. Fear of going to the store or other public areas. This can be a great concern for all age groups, especially our elderly. We know that this virus has hit them especially hard in most areas. So this is a fear they may live with and feel. Running out of medications. If you're taking medications to live for your day-to-day life, and it's depend on the age group here, maybe fearful to go to the pharmacy or pick it up. Maybe you don't know how to call and have them deliver it to your home. Or maybe they can't even deliver it. Some places aren't delivering. You do not want to ask for help or don't know how to ask for help, and losing independence already to some degree makes this an even more difficult experience. Of course, this could be anyone, including persons with disabilities or any age group. How to model staying calm for your family? Well, first thing is remain calm. Routinely practice strategies to reduce your own stress and anxiety. And as I said, if you're that person in your family that kind of holds it together, that glue that helps your family stick together, people will be wanting to watch you like normal and see how you're reacting. So if you're stressed out and very anxious, they may follow that. So try to practice some strategies for preventing and dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression. And the first one I like to say is be positive. Be positive as much as you can. Find positive things that are going on. There are a lot of good things going on in the world right now out of the pandemic. There are a lot of heroes. I know the nurses that I work with here in our aides and housekeeping, they, in our cafeteria staff and anyone else that is in this hospital is working hard to keep people safe, but still doing their jobs by caring for patients. My mom has a saying, says, do what you can in your corner of the world. And that's very true. You might be able to help someone with things such as technology or just checking on them. Doesn't mean you particularly have to even go in the home. There are a lot of people who are putting signs out on the windows, red if they need help, green if they're okay. So you can check on people around you. You can find activities that you can do to help the people around you. And it's okay to say no. If you are concerned for your health and someone asks for help, it's okay to say no. And you can find someone maybe who could help them. So maybe you could help with some resources for them. Seek help if your symptoms or depression or stress or anxiety last longer than 2 weeks and interfere with your daily life activities. And that's the important part, is interfere with your daily life activities. So if it's been 2 weeks, you have not gotten out of bed and taken a shower, if you're not eating for 2 weeks, if you haven't combed your hair for 2 weeks, then it's probably time that you need to call your doctor, or you can call Senior Care here and we can help you with resources. So ways to cope with your own stress and anxiety. Well, the first one I'd like to talk about is take care of your body. Taking care of your body, it's the only place you have to live in, and that's very true. I like that saying. Eat right. We all know how to do that. Exercise as much as possible, whether that's walking up and down the stairs in your home, riding a stationary bike, jogging in place, exercising from your chair, whatever that may be, and resting. Try to stay on a schedule. If you're off work or your schedule is interrupted, it's easy to stay up late and then sleep in. So try to stay and stick to your schedule as much as possible. It will help you have a routine for the day and try to stay in that routine, which will help keep your anxiety, stress, and depression hopefully controllable. Well, try to eat healthy. We know that a lot of times in times of stress, we may overeat. We may eat things that aren't the best for us. So we may find we're eating more processed foods or quick foods. Try to, as much as possible, I know that the fruits and vegetables and fresh things can be expensive. Try as much as you possibly can to eat healthy and to not overeat. And if you need help with getting groceries, getting them delivered, just reach out, ask for help. It's okay. If you're not wanting to go to the store, you're not for sure how to do, some of that involves technology again. So you can call your local businesses and see how you can get things delivered. Know the facts about COVID-19. Be well informed. And this is one with a lot of the information we're seeing all kinds of information coming at us at an extremely high rate. So it's hard to weed through it sometimes, but try to read and listen to the things that ring true and make sure that we're following the guidelines as well as we can to keep ourselves and others safe. Knowledge and understanding about the risk also reduces stress. A lot of times our fear and anxiety and stress may be due to not having the knowledge we need. So the more educated we are about a subject, the better we are able to handle it. Cut down on the time you're watching, reading, or listening to news stories or negative information as much as possible. You know, if you have the news on 24/7 and it's saying the same thing over and over again, it does get a little depressing, I will say. It can be a little bit of a downer. So try to limit that. Find some other positive things or fun things to watch that may increase your mood. Take time to do the things that you and your family love but maybe you never had time to do. Play games. With the internet, there's so much information and things to do. I saw a science experiment I think it was on Facebook, with shaving cream and Mentos, maybe baking powder, and it caused this huge mess, but it looked like a lot of fun outside. There's all kinds of things at our fingertips. There used to not be years ago. You can also do things such as gardening or going out, just look at the rocks and the trees. You can download things from your computer, or maybe you have a book. Order a book about trees or birds or anything like that. You can also take up a new hobby like crocheting. I've taken up my painting again because it's really relaxing. I'm not that great about it, with it, but it's very good, and it's a good way for me to reduce my stress and anxiety. I also love to read. You can exercise, as we talked before. Talking to your family, getting to know them again. And find ways to check and connect with others. Check in with them. Now, there are many ways we can communicate. And for most of us, we may use things like Zoom, which I'm doing now, Facebook, our phone through different apps. Or how about just a letter? We could write someone a letter who may not have access to technology or may not know how to use it. There's something about getting a letter in the mail. And so that would be something that would be nice to do also. And you may find other ways. Maybe place a sign in their yard that just says, "We care about you, just checking on you." There's a lot of different things that we can do and still keep our distance from people. So I hope these suggestions have helped you today, or someone that you love or care about. And if you need resources, contact your family doctor. They're always there to help you. Also, please contact Senior Care here at Johnson Regional Medical Center at 479-754-5490. You can ask for me, Nola, or anyone that answers the phone will be happy to help you with resources and point you in the right direction, or just have a listening ear to maybe what you're dealing with or going through. Of course, as always, if you, a family member, or someone you know is in danger and is a danger to themselves or others, please call 911 and then or go to your nearest emergency room for help. I appreciate your time today. And as always, we hope we can help here at Senior Care at Johnson Regional Medical Center. Thank you.